Hello and welcome. Welcome to CVS's playthrough of a mega prison. Today what I'm going to do is try to create a prison based off of some previous prison architect style maps that I've had. I've learned quite a bit in my experience. I've made about 4 or 5 prisons now. I've got a few styles that I like to work with, although I've found some significant flaws in some of my previous designs, so I'm learning from my existing mistakes, and today I'm hoping to create the foundation of a prison that I think will really support the expanse of not only a very efficient, although maybe not the most efficient, prison, as well as incorporating a lot of style and significance to the layout. I'm not a big fan of doing just the very standard brick by brick, cell by cell style of cramming in as many prisoners as I can. I like to kind of make my prison a little bit more stylized, as well as serving an appropriate level of function. In my current thought for design, I've got what is going to be eventually some sort of logistics building in the front, transitioning into segments of visitation and storage next to a central hub. Now, the central hub is going to contain like security, access to visitation from both the north and the south into these visitation cells. I want access to the southern cell block, to the northern cell block, and to the west is going to lead into protected territory, protected cells. I'm going to sneeze here in a second. Oh, is it going to go away? No? Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll have the north block, we'll have the south block, we'll have protected cells. I'd also like to add some sort of side access to allow the north and south A and C block into what would eventually become education and the workshop area. Now, this is one flaw that I've been trying to deal with in this design, which will be that the workshop where all of my products are going to be created are going to have a really long path to the street, which is where they will eventually be picked up. I'm still struggling with whether I want this to affect the current plan, and maybe I should do something like a workshop and a school, or maybe a workshop and a workshop. I don't think I like that solution. I think I would rather accept that there's a long pathway from my exports to the ultimate destination of trucks that will take them away. We might have to see how this works. It might end up working better to just have my delivery zone here near the or the export zone right next to the street, and then instead of having to have the product walked from deliveries all the way to the truck, they can just be walked from production of the warehouse to the deliveries or to the export area, and then when the trucks come in, they'll just plop the plates and stuff on the truck. That might be a better plan, just to eliminate any sort of stack in my trucks to delay, because if the trucks are sitting here waiting and single prisoners or workmen are trying to deliver, things to put on the trucks are going to have to sit there and wait while they go back and forth. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do some sort of delivery zone in this area, but we'll see how it goes once I get there. I also think that there should be some sort of storage out here, as my main storages are going to be here and about here. I also plan on putting storages next to my kitchens, like that, although I do know that this risks the increase of contraband. It's something I'm willing to risk in favor of having my cooks able to cook more efficiently, gather their food from storage. What else? So yeah, I'll have my protected cells. They'll each have their own yard, and I think also a canteen in the center, because I don't want them going into the maximum security or into the medium security prisons, because that's going to be a bummer. I'm going to lose a lot of guys that way. So yeah, so we'll get some of the logistics started here, and we'll see where it takes us. So the first thing that I want to do is to create a 3x3 that will lead into the front of my prison. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, the top two squares of the deliveries is the center. This is the center line of the map. Just so everybody knows, the top two squares are the center. It always is. Whether it's on a small map or a large map, these two squares represent the center line. Now, you don't get to have the luxury of having the center vertical line, but that's okay, because really everything is based off where the shipments are coming in anyways. So that should be okay. I also know that I want my prison blocks are going to be like this, and their yards are going to be capped on the end, sort of like that, on both ends. So I need to have a certain amount of space between my my yards and possible locations of contraband to be thrown in. That was a major flaw in my previous prison, where I didn't consider that people are going to be able to throw things over the walls, whether I make them walls or if I make them fences, because I had demolished the zone to make it an outside area. I think now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this center area by adding a couple of blocks of storage, to not only space that out, but also to increase the size of my central hub where my security is, because my last security room was balls small. I did not plan it out well enough to be able to fit all of the CCTV cameras that would eventually power all of the different segments of my prison. And that was a big bummer for me, because I didn't rather like that. I also was a little upset that everything was walking through security to get to the different areas. I think this was something that I just kind of have to accept, or if I get to the design phase of this center area and it's large enough, I may be able to break up my security into even more segmented square rooms in each corner of the center area. I don't know if that's going to actually end up working or not. I have a feeling it's not, but if we get to that, we'll certainly consider it as a possibility. But back to the yards idea, I need to have at least 10 spaces from the street to the edge of the yard. So the first ones we're going to do here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want 5 spaces and then a fence. This is where our fence is going to be, going north and south to wherever areas they're going to go to. Eventually they're going to wrap around the prison, along with the perimeter wall, which is the next 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a perimeter wall. So this is going to give me a lot of freedom to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inner wall. This is where my inner cells will be. Or actually, that should probably be where the yard is. So we'll have to take a look at where the yard is placed in respect to those 10 spaces, because the yard can be no further than the perimeter wall. But that only leaves me 5 spaces of yard freedom if this is the cells, and I put my common room and then my yard like that. I could extend it north and south, but I would be limited in extension outwards. So we'll just have to see where the prison ends up being designed in when we get to something like that. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 spaces on either side. It is chilly. I'll be right back. Why is it so cold in here? Turn up the heat. Gotta turn up the heat. Alright, that should do. Okay. So I want my entryway to be just a single space like that. This will be the entry of my prison. My deliveries and my garbage I'm going to reassign. So my deliveries will be in a 5x8 above my entry street and not within it. And my garbage is going to be a 5x8. It's still 5x8? Yes, it is. Just below my entryway. I think ultimately I'm also going to have to put exports here as well. But once I build a workshop, then I'll start thinking about that. It's kind of a bummer that it has to be so far away from my workshop. Ideally, I think putting the workshop right next to the street would be the best way to go about having an efficient prison, but this is my prison. Not the most efficient prison. This is my prison. So, after that, I want my warden's office to be a 4x4, my accountant's office to be a 4x4, with some walls to go around them. Now, I also want 1, 2, 3 spaces for a. So this will be my, really this would be like my metal detector, and this would be my front door, and then I can position a staff dog handler right in the center to sniff everything that comes in or out. He's going to have a nose that is well used. I want to put an entryway, of course, to my 2 rooms. I want to have a kennel at this position, so it has to be at least a 5x5. But I think I also am going to need a hallway here. So we'll just do a hallway up to there. Then I'll have a kennel going out. I'll put the same structure space here, with walls on the outside. And also the kennel. Probably not be a kennel. This I might make maybe just temporary storage or something, or the staff room. This would make a good staff room. I could have all my staff come up here. That might work as well. Pathway is going to be a 3x3. Yeah, and then the walls will come down. And this is going to be an office, 4x4. Go. 4x4, a wall. I'm going to leave that open because I also want to have in this space a power generator. Then we want 4x4 for a psychologist's office. Need another 4x4. It's not big enough, is it? 1, 2, 3, no. Another 4x4 there for a foreman's office. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So foreman or warden, accountant, psychologist, foreman. What's the other one? Can't hire him. No, foreman, security chief. That's it. Really, what we'll do is we'll put psychologist, security chief, foreman, warden, accountant, or something to that effect. Something that kind of balances them. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I want another electricity to control the south. This will control, I think, the south wing down here. Whereas this would control the north wing. We'll put on up walls for now. We don't have dogs. We'll extend these out a bit more. Okay. So at this point I'm going to need, this is where I want to put some spacers in. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 and a wall. I'm going to connect it to this wall. And do the same thing here. And I'm going to put these as storage. These are going to be my storage rooms. I was finding in my previous prison that my storage was getting too piled up, and I didn't rather like that. It was a little disappointing how kind of sticky everything was getting, I guess you could say. No, you know what I want to do? Let's move this back a pinch so that I can. Yeah, so I can do that. Put a dog right here, and then I have metal detectors that will ultimately go into my waiting rooms, visitation rooms. 3x3 I think would be good enough, because I'm also going to mirror the same thing up here. 4 visitation rooms for this prison should be enough. If it's not, I'm going to be bumming. But so be it. Okay, I'm going to put your room right there. Goes into a 3x3 walkway. A couple of prison doors maybe. And a sniffer right there. So that wall is going to have to come down. Let's do the same thing up here. What is this? 9x11? Right there. Right there. I'm going to try to yeah, 3x2. Draw everything out as much as I can first, within reason, of course, in order to plan the best I can for this prison, because I was kind of upset with the outcomes of my previous prison. I thought it was, I don't know, it's not as good as I was hoping it would be. Let's do a double space here, edge to edge. I don't know how long I'm going to need this to be, but this is going to be my center area. Security, infirmary, armory. I think I'm also going to put my plumbing in this area, so it's got to be pretty big. It's going to have to accommodate quite a bit of stuff, so I don't know exactly how much space. So an 8x8 space. I would need to make it odd, wouldn't I? 9x9. It seems really big. Let's chop off a couple. What is this now? 5. 6x6. Maybe I should double that. Okay. So we could do like security, infirmary, armory, and then the water pumps. It really doesn't need to be that big though. It just needs a 3x3. What if I made this one more size bigger? It's not square. What are we at here? 7 by 9. So I'd need another one. So 9 by 9 space. Well, that's almost too big, actually. How can we make that even? So this was 6 by 6. 6 by 6, no? I think that would probably be close enough. And then what I can do is squeeze the plumbing in like that, and then put my armory in here, security here, infirmary in here. Does my infirmary or my security need to be that big? Let's see. I need a desk, a chair, a filing cabinet, a CCTV for the south, a CCTV for the north. Probably need another one to go west. So I've got plenty of room in here. But if I add some hallways, I've still got plenty of room. Could I... But then does the rest of my guys need to be... Yeah, that could used to be bigger. So armory, that'll allow for some serious expansion growth. It's going to be rather cramped in here unless we did some odd spaces for our... well, that's just 2 desks and a chair. See, I think I need to have... I would need to have... yeah, I need to have that extra space to really make it flow in here. Because everything's going to be walking through here, so we will do that. We'll just line those up, clear out the inside, keep those going. Come on now. Come on now. Whoa, what's happening? Let's clean this out. Objects. 3. Now we'll put it in the corner. Saving some space. Cool. So armory, we'll put a desk, chair. Or no, desk is only 2. Yeah, desk, filing cabinet, chair. CCTV, do it 3 on the bottom. CCTV, CCTV. We can do remote doors. Have space for people to walk and move around. It's our central security area, so I mean, it's kind of a big deal. I wonder if we could do... So our infirmary is going to be kind of borked. Do 2 pits like that. Our infirmary will hold a maximum of 3 beds. And our morgue has 2 slabs. I suppose that's not terrible. I could really squeeze the beds in there. That might not be bad. 4 beds for my whole prison. Maybe I might have to squeeze another infirmary somewhere else. We'll have to see. Okay. So now... I don't want anybody walking through my armory. Some people will walk down this way, hopefully, and up that way, through the middle to get to the other side. Let's mirror that. What is it? What was it? 8 by 11? 9 by 11? 2 spaces. 1, 2, 9. 11. And then we had the eraser there. Right about there. Just connect it for now. Ah. Okay, so there's the basis of our prison. I'm going to put some cells up here. I'm going to put some cells here, and here, and here, and here, and here. It's going to be great. So now that we're at this point, let's do a save. Ah, what's up, Iron Hornet? Come on, save. What should we call our new prison? I don't know. What should we call it? Cathedos. Cathedos Prison Foundations. Okay. Sweet. So that's probably a good time for a break. When we come back, we will continue into part 2.